Hawaii's coming to town this weekend, and looks like they're bringing the weather with them. We've got rain here at BYU today. It's Monday. Now, BYU's taking on Hawaii after two very difficult losses, looking to get back on the winning track. I'm Jared Lloyd, sports editor for the Daily Herald. I'm here with Jason Franchuk, football columnist for the Daily Herald. And Jason,
forget what I did.
Now, Jason, what's the key for BYU this week? There's some question marks after the way they played against Boise.
Well, first thing is mental, Jared. They've been through this 2 weeks in a row now with losing just very hard games to lose when the defense has played exceedingly well and the offense really hasn't done much. You look at that as number one. Number two, can they get Riley Nelson healthy? I'm not positive on that right now. It just seems like he's a little too beat up. We saw some errors against Boise State, including the interceptions. It looks like it could be Taysom Hill's team, so they need to get him the reps. And the third thing is they need that offense to start clicking. That starts with the offensive line. They're missing blocks a lot of places. They talked about today not targeting. It's a problem we've seen over the past 4 weeks, and we've seen it in past years with this team starting slow too, that they just don't have the confidence. This team needs to find some confidence against a not very good Hawaii team right now.
Well, and I think that's big. You mentioned confidence. I think that's huge for this BYU football team. Anytime you've had two close losses, you start maybe second-guessing yourself, particularly with the way the offense played so bad. And I really think, Jason, that there's a very simple thing BYU needs to do to get some of that back, and that's score first. Yep. They've been either tied or behind in both of the games they've lost. And, yes, they came back. They rallied. But it's a lot easier when you're ahead, particularly with a defense like BYU has.
Yeah, and they just haven't trusted Riley Nelson's body. He said it after practice here today, and he was gracious to sit around for a while, and he said, I just don't even feel like the same guy, basically, compared to the first couple weeks of the season. I think we probably underestimated just how hard you think of an FBS or an FCS team, Weber State, a Division II team, whatever you want to call it. They hit him hard, and they've made him pay, and they've really hurt BYU's season right now, and you can see it, him kind of walking around that he's just not the same gung-ho guy right now that he used to be, and it's really shaken the Cougars to the core at this point, Jared.
Well, that makes this a big week, and Hawaii hasn't had the greatest start to the year. A couple of losses and hasn't played super well. They don't usually play all that well when they come to the mainland, leave the islands and come play here. They've got a rebuilding process that they're in the midst of as well. So this is really an important game for BYU to get some of that confidence back.
Shaking up confidence-wise, too. You talk about Hawaii. They've already played at USC, at Nevada, basically, and really taken it hard. So they're out to prove something, too, and BYU needs to come out and play. The question I have, Jared, is they've played two highly emotional road games. Now how will they bounce back against a lesser-known Hawaii team? I think that defense still feels like they have something to prove. I asked Bronco about turnovers. They worked on it today. The defense, as good as they've been, have not forced a turnover the past couple games. I expect them to force one or two, and then offensively, you couldn't have hit it any better as far as they need to score first, kind of get themselves in a groove, which has been awfully hard to do the past couple weeks.
Well, so a lot of questions for both teams coming into this Friday's game. They'll be playing at LaVell Edwards Stadium, 6 p.m. start on ESPN. Should be fun to see how the Cougars bounce back and play against the Warriors.
I got nothing.